Okay, let's start with this. What if the song that defines an artist's entire career isn't the one everyone knows? What if it's not the anthem they're forced to play at every concert, but the quiet, almost forgotten track that only they consider their truest self? That's the paradox of Alanis Morissette's Thank You. A song she calls her purest expression, yet one that's often overshadowed by the raw rage of You Oughta Know, or the cultural punch of Jagged Little Pill. And honestly, I think this tension between public expectation and private truth is what makes her story so fascinating. Let me tell you about the first time I heard Thank You. I was a teenager, rummaging through my mom's CDs. Yes, physical media dates me, and I'd already obsessed over Jagged Little Pill for months. But when I popped in the second disc, the one with the unplugged bonus tracks, Thank You hit me like a whisper and a scream. It wasn't angry. It wasn't catchy. It was grateful. And that threw me. Because here's the thing. We're conditioned to equate authenticity with loud emotions, right? If you're not yelling or crying or smashing guitars, are you even feeling? Morissette's career, though, argues otherwise. Jagged Little Pill sold 33 million copies because it gave voice to a generation's rage, especially women's rage. Songs like You Oughta Know became weapons, anthems for anyone who'd ever been wronged. But what many people don't realize is that rage is just the surface. In interviews, Morissette has said anger fuels her activism. But when you dig deeper, love is the engine. Love betrayed, love frustrated, love that refuses to die. And that's what Thank You is about. Gratitude as resistance. A detail I find fascinating is how she wrote it after escaping the chaos of fame, retreating to India to process life without the too much stimuli. It's like she had to leave the noise behind to remember how to say thank you. Now let's dissect this live concert moment I read about. The writer describes a show where Morissette's anger felt fueled by love. And that duality is everything. Think about it. When you see an artist perform a 25-year-old hit every night, there's a risk it becomes a caricature. But Morissette doesn't just rehash You Oughta Know. She channels something raw. In my opinion, her ability to re-inject vulnerability into those songs, especially with a track like Thank You closing the night, is what keeps her relevant. Because here's the deeper truth. We don't just want to scream our pain. We want to heal. And healing isn't just about catharsis. It's about gratitude for surviving the pain in the first place. What this suggests about artistry is radical. We often frame growth as evolving away from early work, but Morissette's career feels more like a spiral. She circles back to the same themes, love, betrayal, spirituality, but deepens them. Thank You isn't a departure from Jagged Little Pill. It's its spiritual sequel. If you take a step back, this mirrors how we process life. We rage, then we reflect, then we thank. And maybe the reason she still plays it live isn't just for fans, it's for herself. A reminder that the best version of an artist isn't frozen in time, but is a living, breathing act of reclamation. So here's my closing thought. Why do we resist seeing gratitude as powerful? Why does Thank You feel less iconic than You Oughta Know? Personally, I think it's because we mistake gratitude for weakness. But Morissette's song isn't about being thankful in a passive way. It's a battle cry for finding light after darkness. And in a world that's addicted to outrage, maybe that's the more radical act. What do you think? Drop your thoughts below. Let's turn this into a conversation.